On 7th February 1974, Grenada became an independent nation, ending 200 years of British colonial rule. Each year on this day, Grenadians, Caracunians, and the Petit Martinicans recognize this great achievement through formal and informal celebrations to commemorate the sovereignty of our nation from the stadium, named after Grenada's first Olympic gold medalist, Kirani James. Welcome to the military parade of the 48th anniversary of Grenada's independence. Good morning and happy independence to Grenadians everywhere, at home and in the diaspora. I am Brenda Batiste, and alongside with me is Superintendent Sylvan McIntyre. Good morning to you and happy independence.
Good morning to you, Brenda, and happy independence to you as well. And let me take this opportunity to say happy independence to everyone, wherever you are within the diaspora, across Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. It is again a wonderful day. Grenada celebrating 48 years as an independent nation. That is remarkable.
It is remarkable.
And I think, Brenda, as we looked around this morning and as the screenshots came up of scenes of Grenada, we can appreciate more and more what a beautiful place this is. And it brings a smile, it brings a sense of happiness. Looking at some of the beautiful spots and areas, the scenic views of Grenada. It is just a wonderful place to be.
It is, and we are really blessed to call it home. And as the shots you mentioned, as they came up, we found ourselves saying, wow.
Wow.
Because, I mean, you know, as Sabrina Francis said in her song, not a thing out of place. That is what is really special about Grenada. You know, as the Union Jack was lowered in 1974, Sir Eric Matthew Gary, he said, "We are completely free." That's what he said. Liberated and independent. He went on to say, in spite of a wicked, malicious, obstructive, destructive minority of noise-making self-publicists, God has heard our prayers. God has been merciful, and God has triumphed. And those are the words of Sir Eric Matthew Gary as the Union Jack was lowered at Fort George at 11:59 p.m. on the 6th of February 1974. And we've come a long way. We gained our political independence then. I know there are lots of arguments, you know, taking the word independent literally, but it's really about our sovereignty as a nation, you know.
Absolutely.
And it is a really beautiful day to be celebrating. We welcome everyone. If you're just joining us, we welcome you again. This morning we wake up to some showers of blessings, right? I thought that was apt on a day like today. And here we are with the sun coming in here. I think it's the first time that we're having the celebrations here at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Oh, and Kirani James Athletic Stadium. That sounds so good, right? And of course, our national hero, Olympian of gold, silver, and bronze medals.
That too is an achievement within our 48 years.
Indeed, indeed. A remarkable achievement over 48 years. I mean, imagine that. Imagine that. That is just, you know, ginormous.
Yes, yes. As you spoke, Brenda, you mentioned Sir Eric's inaugural presentation, his speech in terms of Grenada gaining its political independence. Enshrined in there is the recognition of what God has been doing, what God is intending to do for us. And I think that also is inbuilt within even our national anthem. And that in itself says to us that we must be appreciative of the Almighty Being who is guiding our processes, who is, you know, helping our leaders to make the better and best decisions in the interest of the country. And we've seen a lot of that happen over the years. We've had different leaders, different prime ministers, different ministers of government, different community leaders who've contributed to the development of this country. But I think the pivotal area in all of that is where God comes in, and I think every year of our celebration, there is this ecumenical service where, you know, God's blessing is invoked on everything that we are doing. And I think I wanted really to highlight that.
Yes.
And in everything that we intend to do going forward, I'm thinking that we would want to keep God at the forefront of all of this.
Well, it is enshrined in lots of our national emblems, as you mentioned, the national anthem, the pledge, you
Yes.
know, the spirit, the recognition of God and how the nation we view, you know, God in everything we do is there, you know. We pledged in terms of the pledge, we say, I pledge allegiance to my flag and the country for which it stands, with liberty, justice, and
Quality
equality for
for
all. And we go on, and we, you know, we pledge also that we shall defend and
defend,
uphold the honor, dignity, laws, and
an institution
institutions of
of our
my
country.
country. And that was written by Cresswell Julian, OBE, a
Yes.
former principal of the St. Andrews Anglican Secondary School, SAS. Even in our motto, and we don't use our motto often enough, but it really sets out the strong ideals of the nation, Grenada. And it says, ever conscious of God, we aspire, build and advance as one people. I think that is sufficiently eloquent, you know, on the subject of these high ideals and the principles upon which our nation was founded. And, you know, we often we've often lost those things over the
Yeah.
years, you know, because they're really strong and built in what is our identity as Grenadians.
And I'm happy that you also mentioned we having lost that image to an extent. You may hear of aspect of it where an individual or a couple, persons may be alluding, going back to God and recognizing God and all of
Right,
that. But
right.
I think, in essence, the consciousness and the recognition of the Supreme Being is within us. It's there. I don't think it's going to go away. But we have identified, obviously, there's need for us to be ever conscious. And I think that is critical, to be ever conscious.
Ever conscious
Ever
is
conscious
correct.
is-
And as
is-
we talk about independence and to put it into its historical context, you know, the quest for independence really was something that former Prime Minister Sir Eric Matthew Gary, that he pursued. You
Yes.
know, he mentioned it was in a manifesto of the GULP in 1972. And, you know, even in May of that year, a conference was started with a discussion for these things. And the opposition leader at the time, Mr. Herbert Blaise, initially he was supportive, but he later mounted great opposition to it and protested in moving forward to the independence with, there's a famous R word, referendum.
Referendum. Yes, of course.
So,
Brenda, as we
and,
speak, though, without really crossing you, we're just hearing of the parade that is about to come on.
Right.
I think we would want to give the listeners and viewers.
Absolutely, because that is the
all of it.
highlight. The
Of
highlight of
course, of
today
course.
is a military parade, which
Parade.
we know folks look forward to. Even I look forward to it, and the Prime Minister's address. So we'll take you now, so you can hear the sights and sounds of the military parade of the 48th Independence celebrations here at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium in St. George's, Grenada.
Two. Yeah.
Units representing the Royal Grenada Police Force or Prison
Walk
Service and the National
Independence
Cadet
Morning
Corps.
to one and all.
especially all Grenadians. And it's a moment for us as we celebrate our 48th anniversary of independence. As part of those celebrations, we welcome you to the Military Parade 2022. The activities for this year are significantly reduced due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and the military parade has also been affected by that reduction. We have 6 armed platoons on parade this morning. We have no unarmed platoon. The platoons are now taking up their respective positions on the parade ground. They are currently under the command of the Force Sergeant Major.
What special they're doing this year?
Also in keeping with the protocols for the COVID-19 pandemic, there are no spectators at the stadium to witness the parade. So it's being viewed virtually this morning.
Sherry and Audrey Lyons is another.
The 4th Sergeant Major has completed dressing the parade in 2 ranks. Shortly, the parade adjutant will assume command of the parade. To let you know, the platoons on parade this morning: platoon number 1 is drawn from the Special Services Unit and is under the command of Assistant Superintendent Frank Fiery, and his second in command is Inspector K. Stanislaus. Platoon number 2, the RGPF regular male, is under the command of Assistant Superintendent Desmond Richard, and his second in command, Inspector E. Purcell. Platoon number 3, RGPF regular female, is under the command of Assistant Superintendent Maureen Stanislaus. Her second in command, Inspector D. Dumont. Platoon number 3, commanded by Assistant Superintendent Watson Edwards. Second the parade adjutant has taken command of the parade. Shortly, he will command the respective platoon commanders to take their position in front of their respective platoons. The color party will soon take its position on the parade. The parade is now standing at ease as we await the first official arrival for this morning's parade. In official attendance this morning are Her Excellency, the Governor General, Dame Cecile La Grenade, the Prime Minister, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, and the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Edwin Martin. And they will arrive in the reverse order to which I've just announced.
So here we have it, Superintendent McIntyre. It's incumbent upon you to talk to the folks listening about what just happened on parade grounds. I think that is called the dressing of the parade?
Absolutely. So what we witnessed was the initial march on of the parade. It's called the march on. And the parade then is led by what you call the FSM, the Force Sergeant Major.
Right.
The Force Sergeant Major dresses the parade, and he hands over to the parade adjutant, which is the 2IC.
Right.
The 2IC comes on and he dresses the parade in two ranks. He prepares them appropriately. We've had the march on of the flag party, that is,
Right.
and they received a general salute.
What are
Now,
we
what's
witnessing
happening right now?
What are they saying to each other?
The parade adjutant, the 2IC, is saying to the parade commander, who is Superintendent Holly George, he's saying to him that the parade is dressed in order. They are at the order in two ranks,
Right.
and they are waiting him to take up his command of it. So basically, his
Wonderful.
2IC is saying, your men are ready for your command of the
Wonderful.
day's military parade. So he's saying that I am satisfied, you can go ahead. He takes his position at the rear of the entire formation.
Right.
And the parade commander then, he stands there to await the first arrival.
Right. And that first arrival is that of our Commissioner of Police, Edwin Martin. He will be the first. After him, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, and then Her Excellency Dame Cecile La Grenade. That's the order in which they would arrive, and they will depart in reverse order, with Her Excellency leaving first, followed by the Prime Minister and then the Commissioner of Police. And here we are awaiting those arrivals.
And I think for the interest of the viewing audience, sometimes the words of command, they're not clear,
Unclear.
or they're not really understood to the
Correct,
extent to those who are viewing or listening from outside of the parade ground. And for persons who are not really tuned to military jargon, etc., would not
Right.
quite understand.
What is
But I'm
happening.
sitting here, and even if the words are not clear, I understand what is being said and what the moves
Well,
are.
you've had over 30 years of experience in
So-
this, and I think you have been a parade commander yourself.
Yes,
so
I have
that is
been.
why it is useful that someone like you talk us through this.
Absolutely.
Because, of course, we have absolutely no idea what is being said.
Right. And it seems like there is just a mumble and you see action to it.
Right.
But what happened is that what the parade commander just did, he gave a cautionary word of command. He said parade. That was preparing everybody to look out for the word of command. And then he said stand at ease. And
Right.
they stood at ease, they relaxed, their weapons are on the order. It is touching ground right down to their sides, and they are awaiting the arrival. Now, as the Commissioner of Police approaches the ground, the parade commander will again give the cautionary word where everybody now prepares for that action word to Sean, which means come to attention. And
Right.
so, as we hear the sirens in the distance, we know that the Commissioner of Police is approaching. So as he comes onto the ground, he approaches the ground, the word of command will be given, parade Sean.
Right.
They will stand there, await him to ascend the saluting dais, where he too will be given a general salute.
So here he comes, his outrider, Commissioner Edwin Martin, from the beauty of Grenada, the Karani James Athletic Stadium. And of course, traffic is cleared this morning as the Commissioner of Police makes his way onto the parade grounds.
And
Some
he
fancy
seems
foot-
to be coming in with a
some
bit of
fancy
pace.
foot- Some fancy work there from his outrider.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, and of course we must give our drone operator Reggie Joseph this morning, who's doing all the magnificent drone work out there. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. You'll be seeing so much more of that coming to you virtually, and technology at its best. Many folks are not very familiar with how the Karani James Athletic Stadium look, especially those who are outside. So this is also an opportunity for them to kind of, get a visual and a vista of the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. PAJ 462.
Commissioner of Police.
Commissioner Edwin Martin
is entering the parade ground.
Here comes Commissioner Martin.
And that's the Deputy Commissioner of Police that he's going to be
Michael
flanked by
Francois.
Michael Francois.
And is that Assistant Commissioner John Mitchell as well?
Yes, he's accompanied by So our Commissioner of Police, Mr.
The Commissioner
Edwin
of Police
Martin,
was met by Assistant
received his
Commissioner
salute and
John
descended
Mitchell.
the salute in the east.
and he is ACP responsible for administration of the RGPF.
As those of you who are listening and viewing,
We
and
say also a very pleasant morning and
you can
welcome
also
to
hear the announcement, the ground
all senior
announcement
officers and
by
members
Assistant
of the
Superintendent Douglas.
Oh, he
Royal
does a
Grenada
really
Police
wonderful
Force.
job.
Yes, he's the one who carries.
And
He has
Her
been
Majesty's
carrying this
presence.
for the
Yes.
last couple of years, and
Yes.
what we have seen over the years, the officers growing in stature and
Oh,
growing
yes.
in different roles and
Yeah.
position and taking up their places and so on.
Absolutely.
And as we prepare to even transition into different eras of and so
Absolutely. The human capacity
As
of the
the
RGPF
RGPF.
has really,
Just to give
I
you a
mean,
little
gone straight to the
background
top.
that's correct.
on
Yeah.
And
yeah.
there's going to be a
Parade
shift in the
Commander,
next couple of years because most of the officers who joined
Superintendent Holly
post
Anthony George
1983, there would be a mass exodus of these
hails
persons that
from
has already started
Victoria
technically.
and
Right.
St.
Well,
Mark's.
I hope
So-
you started your succession planning and
He
identification
enlisted
for
in the
recruitment and retaining who you
police
can.
force
But it is a really beautiful morning here.
1984.
Most folks I know, if you're anywhere in
age
the
of
cold,
18.
wherever you are in Europe, North America, the Far East, it might be good night,
He
it
is
might be good
currently
afternoon, it
the
might be good morning.
Commandant of
And
the
we're here
police
at the
training
National
school.
Stadium commemorating
he's responsible
our
for
48th anniversary of Grenada's independence. And
grooming
we're
the
doing so
officers
under the team, overcoming our adversity, safeguarding
have already
livelihoods, and
begun
protecting our future. All of that against the backdrop
portray
of the crises of COVID
lovely
and us
drills
moving forward
this
as
morning.
a nation, Superintendent McIntyre.
So, Brenda, as we go through this morning, I am sure that we will
Following
have
his training,
some form of elaboration on the theme chosen for this year. We would want to speak a
Right.
little bit about it
Superintendent George was
once the
listed
time permits us to, because
Yeah.
it's
Special
it's
Services
it's
Unit.
a theme that's broken up into 3 or 4 segments, and they're all critical segments that a nation could pride itself on and could project
Absolutely.
and build
Absolutely.
on. And we would be able to speak on aspects of it. I've been giving some consideration in
series
particular
of
to
training.
protecting livelihood and so on.
Police
That is
matters.
safeguarding our livelihood and all of that. It is critical in
Those
the sense
include
that there are different facets of our society
combat
that would
radio,
need that level of
communication.
security to
Yes.
ensure that we
Yeah.
have sustainability over the years. So
There's many components to that, how we elevate, how we move on, how we shift, how we adjust.
RSS,
And,
basic
it
infantry
is
training,
really incumbent upon us is not just, because we're starting to move away from,
where
just
he
everything
graduated
being
as
COVID and
top
really
student.
trying to pivot
absolutely.
and move on, while we have to be still
Drill instructors
cognizant,
training.
that it exists.
Yeah.
But because
1992.
last year when the Prime Minister gave his address, he really concentrated
Protective
heavily on us
security.
taking care of each other
In
in terms of
1996.
central government taking care of the nation through the policies and so on, and then us as a
Instructional
people,
techniques.
being there for each other
Also
and citing a lot of
1996.
social support and all of that. That they were going to, go through the last year or so. So now it's time for us to take it
Senior
to the
security
next
manager.
level. Yeah?
Absolutely.
And that's what I believe as we, we move forward. And
We are witnessing the
The
arrival
arrival.
of the Honorable Prime Minister.
here he is. On a brisk morning, it's not bright and sunny. We had some early morning showers of blessings, of course. But the stadia, it's both. That is the cricket and athletic. The drainage is just absolutely magnificent. You can't even tell if we had heavy showers of rain here this morning. But here he is on parade ground, getting ready to. The security comes out, yes, and he would have that would be his address in tow
We're witnessing
with his
the
bottle of
arrival
water.
the Honorable Prime
And
Minister.
here he comes, Prime Minister, the Honorable Keith.
On a regular day, Brenda, the applause would have gone up with
Yes.
the spectators
I'm
who
sure they're going
were
up
going to be
some-
here,
wherever folks
to
are.
see the Prime Minister making his
Yes.
appearance on ground and
Yes.
so on. But this year it's virtual.
Again.
one of the things I would like to share with our viewing audience is the difference in the arrival, what happens. As the commissioner arrives and he ascends the saluting dais, he receives a fanfare and he gets a salute.
And we welcome
As the Prime Minister ascends the
Minister to this
dais,
year's
he receives a
Independence
general
Parade.
salute. Now that is totally different, but
Under
the
normal
salute
circumstances, he would be
with the commissioner,
feeling that welcome right
they're not shouldering arms.
Right.
When Her Excellency arrives, she will receive the royal salute.
Right.
Then again, that's a difference. So those are the stages, and everyone has
await
a
the
slight variation
final
In
official
terms
how
of the
they
order of
react.
importance, Her Excellency bears the highest order of importance
That of
here,
Her
and
Excellency,
being the Queen's
Governor
representative here. So all the fanfare, all the highest, the most regal of the fanfares
Yes.
goes to the Governor General on a day like today. The Prime Minister, he looks well
Continue with the
Oh, yeah.
background on
in
the
navy
parade
this morning
commander.
with a crisp green tie.
Yeah.
And
Superintendent George
of course,
also
the green in our national flag, it
attended
symbolizes the fertility of our land, our lush vegetation, and
Regional
our
Security
islands'
Systems
agriculture.
staff
So he's
and command
representing the fullness and lushness of Grenada this
2013.
morning through the wearing of his tie.
leadership
And
development,
I think over the years we have been
2014,
seeing Prime Minister
professional
Mitchell
standards,
coming here at these parades.
2015.
I don't think it is very obvious which year would be
RSS
different except
strategic
the outfit that he's
executive
wearing.
leadership
He
management
looks
force,
almost the same.
Sharp,
He
sharp.
looked quite very sharp. His outfit is always very crisp.
RSS
And his age, in essence,
Foundation
does not show. So
of
you really
Curriculum
can't tell the difference over the
Design.
last, in my opinion,
Also
10 years that he has been coming, which part he looks really different, which is remarkable in terms of, someone.
Are you
George,
saying that he's
experienced
aging in reverse?
police officer.
I don't know if I want to use the word reverse, but I think he's aging nicely. Yeah.
Right, and as I mentioned, the colors of the national flag, of course, we have lots of youngsters listening this morning. And yes, the colors on the flag, they're each representative of, part of
initial
the nation's
posting,
lifeblood.
Special Services
The
Unit.
red, it represents for us the fervor of our people, our courage and our vitality,
1984 to
our burning
1993.
aspiration to be free. The red border is indicative of our dedication to
1993
preserve our
to
harmony
2001,
and our unity of spirit.
served
The
as an
gold,
instructor
because yes, our flag is
at
red,
the
gold,
police
and
training
green,
school.
but of course it is the hue is normally represented as yellow.
2002,
But the color representative of wisdom also holds
2011,
significant for us, a representation of the sun, our islands in the sun, and the
at
warmth
the
and friendliness of our
Immigration
people.
Department.
And the green symbolizes the fertility of our land, our lush vegetation, and our islands' agriculture. There are 7 golden stars on the flag, Superintendent, that
2011,
which we often forget, and they represent the 7 parishes of
served
our
at
country
the
and the hopes,
RSS
aspiration, and
headquarters
ideals upon which our nation was founded.
as
And
the
there's a
assistant
nutmeg on our
staff
flag.
officer. Yes.
And this represents our reputation as the Isle of Spice, for which we would forever be. And its traditional link with our economy. And we see lots of things happening around this time with the
Also
flag, I
served
must point
as
out here that there is a
inspector
correct order
in charge
in which
of
the
Ward
flag,
Police
we must
Station.
present the national colors of the flag. In primary school, I learned this.
2016,
Yes.
Yes, and that was something we had to write down. I think in year standard 2, one of those classes where the red, you always place the red at the top, and then the next order would be the gold in the middle, and then the green at the bottom. So that is how we should always troop the colors of the national flag. But here comes the Governor General, Dame Cecile La Grenade. She is making her way to parade grounds here at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. It is really a beautiful morning. No bright sunshine. The sun is just there beneath the crowd, kind of like providing ambiance, right?
Absolutely. So what we would want for our viewing audiences in different places through different various medium, we would want you to feel a part of the entire independence celebration.
Absolutely.
And we are trusting that we are bringing you the information, we are giving you the images that would actually make you feel that you're here at the National Stadium. And we would also require your feedback if you think that we can improve in any way as well in bringing any further clarity to you. We would appreciate some feedback as well, and endeavor to improve on the quality of the broadcast and the images that we can bring to you. But I can tell you, it's a wonderful
enjoying
spectacle
it.
here at the National Stadium as we await the arrival of the dignitary, the key dignitary of honor, Her Excellency Dame Cecile Lagrenade, Governor General of Grenada.
And Dame Cecile Lagrenade, who represents the monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, she too is celebrating her 70th year on, as a monarch, and that is a big deal. And so here she comes. Folks are listening. Just to say good morning to you, Superintendent Sylvan McIntyre. This good morning is coming from the Cayman Islands. And, Grenadians everywhere, they are waking up to the sound of our voice this morning, tuning in. Alan Robinson is saying good morning to you.
Wow,
Special
great.
good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Alan. Glad you're listening. And everywhere Grenadians are, we know that not much happening at work this morning. They're tuned in. But here she is, and we look forward to what
her.
she's wearing.
Of course, her
AD
outfit.
Her AD car has exited the vehicle, and here she comes.
There she goes.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Green
Brilliant.
today.
So it seems like Her Excellency, too, is symbolizing the fertility of our land, our lush vegetation, and our island's agriculture. You think we have a theme going here this morning?
We do, actually. So I think what actually is happening is the parade commander is reporting to Her Excellency. He's saying to her the number of units that are there. He's saying that they are on the order, dressed in order, and awaiting the gracious inspection and her presence. And he's inviting her to inspect the ranks. She obviously would consent in doing that, agree to doing that. She descends the dais, and she will be flanked by the Commissioner of Police and his ACP in charge of administration. The Deputy Commissioner of Police is also there. That's the party that accompanies Her Excellency. And they would inspect the ranks of all 6 units represented here at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium.
As we say in popular language, if poison, Grace was a person. That's our
Sis-
Governor General.
She has it. And can you notice? Have you noticed the shoe that she's also wearing?
I noticed she's matched very very
Very
well.
matched up,
Her
yes.
gold is on her head. The gold is on the crown of her head. She embodies the green, and she's accessorized by red. So she's done a remarkable job in how she's pulled her styling this morning, representative of the colors, our national colors, that of the gold, the, the green, the red, and the green.
I think she takes an entire year in considering what she's doing for the next year. I think she really take the time out to prepare or to adorn herself for independence. I think, in my opinion, there's a sense of pride.
Yes.
There are people who would do this, who would hold the position and they would do it just symbolically. But
Yeah.
she's really into it. Her spirit is in it, and she does it with a bit of finesse. You know, she speaks
think
to the
she's-
guys with
Yes.
a bit of passion. It comes through her voice as she speaks to the officers in the ranks. She would ask them, "How are you doing? Your years of service." She would also say to them, "You're elegantly turned out, immaculately turned out, neat or otherwise." Those kinds of words. Her
Right.
Excellency would be using to the people on parade as she go past the prisons, and now she goes to the cadets.
The Cadet Corps.
She obviously is having a word with some of the young stars, and I can't get into her head as to exactly what she's saying to them, but I guess some level of encouragement
I'm
to
sure,
them,
I'm sure.
and saying to them how appreciative she is of
I'm sure.
them sparing the time to be out and all of that.
Yes.
It's not going to be an extended inspection.
Right,
Um,
because of the size of the
units.
Of the units, yes.
And there are no unarmed units on parade today.
No.
We normally have the ancillary groups, the voluntary organizations, and so forth. Because of COVID-19, there has to be the scaling down of the units on parade, and COVID has impacted us tremendously in every way. But I heard you mentioned, you know, how things were going to be happening and what kind of adjustments are to be made or has
Yeah,
been
we
made
need
to
to
accommodate
pivot.
COVID-19.
We need to
Thank
pivot
you.
away from it,
And
yeah. It has occupied been the center of our lives for way too long. You know,
Great.
it's time for us to pivot, understanding that it exists and what we need to do, but it's really time for us to turn the corner, so to speak.
I think our nation, our people are beginning to understand that this is a different era. This is a different time that we are facing.
We've all lived it, so we can't ignore that.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And Her Excellency was the first person who said to me when COVID was just approaching us, I went to see her, and she said, "This is the new abnormal." it's so,
She's a scientist.
yeah,
she
said that's an abnormal. So we're getting to use it, and soon it will become the new normal, which is we will have to learn to live with
Right.
COVID and some of the other illnesses and things that will come with us. But I think at the end of the day, how we adjust ourselves, how we adapt to the situation, how we build even our physical environment, our health infrastructure, and
Indeed.
how we take care of ourselves, would see how resilient we will continue to be, and for how long some of us will end up living on planet Earth. It has to do with our action. It has to do with our ability to adjust. It also has to do with our ability to innovate.
I take the position that it's a new world, post-pandemic. So we are going to be, yes, it's useful for us to carry along some things, especially traditions that of identity and you know, things that worked. But in the post-pandemic area, it's like we will be fashioning a new world, new interactions in many things, you know, in the way we work, in the way we worship, in the way we relate to each other, in business, in all of it. So it really and truly is a new dynamic. But as we look out to Her Excellency here, towering above the men out there, I might add, it just, you know, absolute grace and beauty. And how can we not commend the RGPF on a day like today, just the absolute best. And the Royal Grenada Police Force Band, just how crisp, clear, precise, and melodious they are.
That's it. It takes a lot to be part of a parade. It takes a lot in terms of the preparation, getting to the day, the 7th, weeks of preparation. Her Excellency ascends the DS again, where the parade commander, he approaches her and asks for the continuation of the parade and for her permission for the band trooping and a display that we are expecting.
Yes.
I would not give much into it at this point. I will allow our listeners and viewers to create or your own expectation and
Yes.
anxiety as to what's going to happen.
I look forward to it with the anticipation of an 8-year-old Brenda
Yes.
every year.
You remember the days when you were here
Yes.
with your colors, I'm sure.
But when I was a brownie, I took part in the parade when I was a brownie, girl guide, and as a ranger. This was just a great thing. But you know, when you step away, you just look forward to it. The
Yeah, but-
police, everything, the commentary. This is just a day it's just I can't explain it except to say that I really look forward to seeing it through the eyes of the 8-year-old Brenda. So I look forward to this part.
I think Brenda,
This is my favorite part coming up.
that's coming up. So, bands and drums troop. That's the word of command that's given by the Constable McLean, who is is it what's it?
McVean. The RGPF?
Yes.
McVean.
So Constable McLean is leading the bands as the word of command band troop is given the marching off. We look with some level of great anticipation as to what display that they would have.
Yes.
And in some instances, people would refer to it as antics. But I think the precision that which some of these things are being done, it's just more than antics. It's a full display.
Display. When you talk about parade, you
Parades.
talk about displays.
That's correct.
Not
Not
antics.
antics.
Nothing.
Absolutely not.
Antics is for different fora. It's a parade display, and they add lots and lots and lots of attractions within the display to heighten it. Remember, we are island people. We are, spirited, energetic, spice people. So we just can't have an ordinary parade.
We can't do that. And Brenda, I am looking with some level of I'm lost for the words for our 50th anniversary. What we are, COVID or no COVID, we're looking forward
The
to
Golden Jubilee?
having more than what we're seeing here
Yeah.
for the 50th anniversary of
Well,
our Canada's independence.
Let's relish the now.
We'll do it now, but we have to
Yes,
anticipate the
I
future.
know. But COVID has really taught us to just every day, just lap it up.
Give
And
thanks
just,
for what you have.
just
Yes.
just hold on to it with all your might, and then hope that tomorrow comes.
The unfortunate loss of lives is one of those that we
Yeah,
do
yeah,
not want
yeah,
to
yeah.
remember with
Yeah,
COVID.
yeah.
But as you said, we need to just embrace every day as it comes
Every
because
day, every
you
day.
live one day today and tomorrow would be another.
Absolutely.
And with COVID, you just cannot say what the other days would be.
one foot in front of the other, as just as what's happening out there. Yeah. We're having some great shots from our camera crew this morning.
We must commend them for
we
that.
must commend them. There's an their RV vehicle making the rounds and showing, all the up close and precise shots. And that's been manned by a really talented young man, Mikhail Alexis, the son of someone who introduced videography to Grenada in a big way. That is Mike Alexis, still works for the GBN. So his son is now a real star at this.
Oh, really?
And of course, much better than Mike. Morning, Mike. So, yes, quite a lot of young, talented Grenadians. Technology is really their thing. And so they are manning the drones, the RV, and doing a lot of the technical work here at the National Stadium this morning, at
Aerial
the Kirani
representation.
James Athletic Stadium here this morning. All right, Superintendent, take it away.
So they have moved from the slow match into quick time, and this is Constable McLean at his best with what people are expecting. And can you imagine on a day when spectators were allowed to be here, if they were allowed, what the reactions were going to be?
Well, we don't have them, so we know they're reacting at home.
So people are reacting in their living rooms, in their bedrooms, where your television sets are located. And good morning to you out there in Europe, North America, other parts of the Caribbean. We know that you're tuned in listening to us, and we know that you're loving our celebration. Despite the scaled down numbers here, it's still a very wonderful day. It's overcast, making it even an almost perfect day for officers who are part of this parade. As you recognize, the display was not elaborate this year, just good enough. There would be other aspects of it upcoming. I want you to brace yourselves, have yourselves some refreshments when you're through from this, because at this stage you should not be leaving your position for anything else. Just be glued to your sets and listening to your radios, looking at your screens, as Grenada is bringing you the best of our independence celebration. 48 years as a nation, 48 years of charting our own course and destiny, and we are a proud nation, a proud people. And there are officers who have committed themselves. They're proud to be sacrificing their time, even if they're channeled by reason of the responsibility to be here. They count it an honor to be giving you a display and to be here within this COVIDious time to bring to you the best of a military parade. 48 years as a nation, the RGPF police band, as they completed their short display of a band troop.
Audio? Yeah.
2 units.
I think we lost audio for a minute there.
We did. You
Having
recognize
some competition with the wind. Feels beautiful, but it's working against it.
the Coast Guard and the Special Services Unit, the SSU. They have been called to attention and they've shouldered their arms. Now there's the sloping arms, and they've just done a right turn. So they're being told to by the front quick march, and I have not seen the display myself, so I'm also excited to see what they are going to be doing. I did not make myself available to see the rehearsal. I wanted to be surprised by the display.
Right.
The Grenada Coast Guard platoons. And they have received their commands from the 4th Sergeant Major, Sergeant Kellon Noel.
The Coast Guard.
I just hope that the viewing public, they can really hear the audio from the command field, because I know sometimes it dips in and out. So those of you who are on Facebook, or if you're WhatsApping or whatever, just let us know how clear we're challenged here by the wind this morning. So it might be knocking out mics just a little bit. All right, so just let us know whether you are hearing, because it is part of really the enjoyment of the presentation, whether you are hearing the commands from the parade square.
So they went into the salute position. Now they are at shoulder arms. They've done a bit of diagonal marching. Yes. They're huddled in two circles. Remember that we witnessing the Coast Guard. Now they are in salute position again at the present position. The shoulder arms. And are they going to be forming up here for us? I don't know if, from your viewing position, if you can tell what is being created, but they now moving into single files from the circular formation. They're still carrying the weapons at the shoulder arms. And they've come to a halt by the beat of the drum. So we would anticipate the other movements from here. They step off in quick time again. They are seeming to be joined by the members of the band as well. This is interesting.
I invite you to observe the precision in the drills and also the formation.
We are beginning to create an image from here as our drone footage is capturing the aerial shots that are coming in really nice. And I'm sure, what are you seeing? It's our code. Are you seeing something here? If you need to get into us what numbers and what code you need to. 473 Grenada.
Amazing.
473. I guess a lot of people were thinking that we were going to be doing a display of 48.
Let's not spoil it. What's the code?
473.
Say it again.
Absolutely, 473. It's Grenada. We love it.
Beautiful.
There you go.
Beautiful.
So
I can hear the round of applause.
I can hear them
home.
from
I can hear
people's
it. I can
living
hear
room.
it. Can hear it louder, louder, louder.
You remember the song
473
by a famous Calypsonian, the Inspector 473? Now they've gone into a squatting position.
And Golden from Carrot Crew.
They've gone into a squatting position. And the SSU, they're holding their weapons as though they're about to.
Ready for mortal combat.
That's correct. And they're still holding the position of 473, which
Yes,
is
they
absolutely
are.
wonderful. Oh my God.
That's some dexterity there.
It is.
Wow.
It shows up
Impressive.
also the fitness level and the readiness
with
of
the
our
assistance
units.
of the police band.
Absolutely.
473 was
We are
formed.
grateful. I am hearing the
Remarkable.
473 is
Remarkable.
Grenada's country code. And of course, it has become a brand
Of course.
for Grenada.
He's absolutely correct. 473 is indicative of brand Grenada.
Brand Grenada.
And there's so many things that we represent, especially
I
through
believe
our
wherever
orange
you go in
economy,
the world and you
entertainment,
mention 473,
arts.
Yes.
you will find someone that can tell you that you're referring to Grenada.
Absolutely.
And this is one of the days and times when every member of the RGPF will feel proud of themselves. And
Yes.
Commissioner will feel elated. He would feel out of this world to be commanding a unit that will be able to present and having that kind of a display that shows a level above the ordinary.
Absolutely. I like that. I really love this. I just.
This is
really,
innovation.
Yes, because the expectation, I'm sure, was for the formation of 48. And let's just throw them
So
off.
Brenda, it's
See why I
4.
love my spice people.
473.
We are so unpredictable.
So they call back to order. It is my recollection. It's the first time that the Coast Guard as a unit have been
That's
out.
correct. That's correct. That's commendable. We must. Yeah,
Yes.
that's correct.
And the Coast Guard is under the command of Assistant Superintendent Watson Edwards and the two ICs, Wilbur Francis, Inspector. The parade commander goes on now to say to Her Excellency that we are finished with the display. We give you the salute and your permission for the rest of the activities to continue.
Right.
We're about to witness the salute to the nation. The saluting party, which includes all officials on parade.
Parade will advance in review order. The center. Quick ball.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 1, 2.
Wow. You know that like you're like
Ladies
like
and
breathing.
gentlemen, we warn you that you will soon hear some very loud blasts, so please prepare yourselves for that.
So for the salute of the nation, there would be 3 segments of 7 blasts of the cannon, which symbolizes the salute recognition to
Salute.
Grenada.
Present arms.
We ask you to kindly stand for
So-
the national anthem.
This is the royal salute to the nation. The national flag will be flown, hoist and flown above every other flag as the first sound of the cannon goes off. And this year's celebration seems to have an added innovation to it. That is the gun salutes. We've never been privy to seeing even, it's a bit of precision. It's like a drill as well. We're seeing Assistant Superintendent he is marshalling his troops into the shots, and he is actually physically having everyone, you know, touch them. And it gives the appearance that his touch sends off the cannon.
Correct,
So
correct,
the power
correct.
comes through his hand, it goes down through the it comes out at the end of which is in itself remarkable. I mean this
Yeah.
seems like
Well, you've made a remarkable observation about power from hand because actually, when we touch each other, we release energy. And we release energy into each other. So you made a remarkable observation there. But anyway, we're not waxing that way this morning as the Governor General and the Prime Minister receiving the final gun salutes, flanked by the other officers, Chief of Protocol Adrian Joseph, and other dignitaries. As a completion of the gun salute.
The cheers to the nation is another. The parade will prepare to remove headdress, and that too, it's another display in itself where they prepare to remove headdress. They remove the headdress, rest on their shoulders.
To the nation. Hey, hey, hey.
So
Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Replace headdress.
you will recognize nice that the ladies did not remove their headdress,
No, yes.
and that's in
Why
itself.
is that so?
It's I think it's a tradition where women always keep their head covered, and
Right.
logically sometimes it may also affect even their hair, how it is being done, and all
Right,
of that. So,
right, right.
and I think it has its symbolic meaning, and it also has its logic in terms of how it can affect the
Right,
appearance on parade and
right,
readjusting, etc.
right.
Invite
It happens even in our
Reverend
churches, where
Joachim Philip
yeah.
to lead us in the prayer of dedication.
Philip of he is the president of the Alliance of Evangelical Churches. He's going to be giving us the prayer
us
of
pray.
rededication.
Most eternal, powerful, mighty God, creator of everything that we know, we salute and come to you today with humility of heart. Firstly, God, to confess that, oh God, we may have sinned and come short. We are accused and guilty of idolatry. We are accused and guilty of injustices in areas. We are accused, oh God, of sin. And so, God, we confess with humility of heart today before you as we seek to rededicate our nation unto you. We ask, oh God, now that you will cleanse and wash us and purify us as we go forward in this nation 2022. We pray for our leaders, governments. We pray, oh God, for our military and all the frontline persons that would have sacrificed during this difficult and challenging COVID-19 period. We pray, oh God, that you will cover us as a people to, oh God, understand the fear of the Lord again. That, you, God, we will fear you in what we do, in how we plan, in how we operate as a people. We pray, oh God, for those that are going through difficulty as grief and suffering. We pray for comfort and strength in this time. We pray, Lord, that you will continue to bless our economy so that, God, these cases of job situations will be a thing of the past. We pray, God, you would open the windows and the doors of heaven and shower down a special blessing upon Grenada and its people. Bless us, Lord, in our going out. Bless us in our coming in. Bless us in our planning. Bless us, O God, in our ministries. We pray for every minister of the gospel also in this country, Lord, that they will continue to walk in the righteousness and fear of you. We thank you for this celebration, the 48th year. We ask, O God, that you will indeed have us to overcome adversity and safeguard our livelihood as we go forward in these trying times. Bless Grenada, bless us all, in Jesus' name.
So the parade commander has asked the parade to shun, and we will be preparing for the Prime Minister's remarks, which will come momentarily. The parade will go back to stand at ease.
It's a full address to the nation, actually.
Full address to the
Yeah.
nation.
On the occasion of the 48th anniversary of our independence.
The official party will now take their seats. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. You may be seated.
Standard east.
So we've gotten to the point where most of the parade display has taken place, and the parade is now asked to stand at ease in preparation for an address to the nation by the Honorable Prime Minister. The other dignitaries, including Her Excellency Dame Cecily Lagrenade, will also be seated as the Prime Minister is about to be introduced, where he will address the nation. We wait with great anticipation. Last year we followed his focus, and throughout the year we followed how Grenada really embraced some of the things that he mentioned in his speech. Now this
Many
is
memorable things are normally said at Independence Day speeches, and some of them are all lost on us. But I'm reminded that in 2017 on Independence Day, Prime Minister Mitchell said, "Our history has taught us that we must never be afraid to dream. Julien Fedor dreamt, Donovan and Marichaud dreamt, Eric Gary and Maurice Bishop dreamt too. Let this land forever be a land of dreamers, because it is from those dreams that exciting and sustained Grenadian realities are born." And that is profound indeed. And coming, off the cusp of everything that we've gone through in the last 18 months or so, this statement here of 2017 is really, really truly a reminder of what we are celebrating today and how we should move forward. Keep dreaming, keep creating, and of course, paying homage to those who paved the way for us to be where we are today. And of course, Gary, Fedor, Donovan, Marichaud.
Good morning,
all of
ladies and
these.
gentlemen. Here at the Karani James Athletic Stadium, and those of you out there in the diaspora. My job this morning is to introduce our Prime Minister. The Prime Minister, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Claudius Mitchell, was born to Dowlin and Catherine Mitchell in Brizan, St. George. He received his primary education at the Happy Hill RC School and the J.W. Fletcher Memorial School. He went on to the Presentation Brothers College and then on to the University of the West Indies, Cave Hill campus, where he gained a Bachelor of Science degree in mathematics and chemistry in 1971, followed by a master's degree from Howard University in 1975, and a doctorate in mathematics and statistics from the American University in 1979. As a young adult, Dr. Mitchell taught at the Presentation Brothers College, his alma mater, and was also a mathematics professor at Howard University in the United States. He also started his own consulting firm in Washington, D.C., and provided consultancy services to many government departments and private corporations in the United States. In 1984, Dr. Mitchell was elected Member of Parliament for St. George Northwest and has held the seat in each subsequent elections since then. He was elected political leader of the new National Party, the NNP, in 1989. In 1995, Dr. Mitchell successfully led the party to victory in general elections, winning 8 of 15 seats in the House of Representatives. He assumed office as Prime Minister on June the 22nd that year. In that year, do forgive me, election victories in 1993, 2003, 2013, and 2018, including an unprecedented sweep of the polls on 3 occasions, mean that Dr. Mitchell is currently serving as Prime Minister for the 5th time. Dr. Mitchell is also the Minister of National Security, Public Administration, Youth Development, Home Affairs, ICT, and Disaster Management. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it is my pleasure to invite to address you this morning our Prime Minister, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Claudius Mitchell. Thank you.
They face the the stage or the podium from which the Prime Minister will make his
That was a right turn they
address.
took,
They
right?
did take a right turn.
Right.
And they're standing at the order in ease. It's different to many of the parades in the past.
Your Excellency, the Governor General, Dame Cecil Lagrenard, my colleague, Minister of Government, Mr. Yolan Bain Hosford, Minister of Sports, Culture and the Arts, Fisheries and Cooperatives, Commissioner of Police, Edward Morton, Chairman of the National Celebration Committee, John Williams, Reverend Joachim Philip of the Alliance of Evangelical Churches, distinguished members of the Grenada Police Force, members of the media, fellow Grenadians, friends and sisters and brothers of the diaspora, and of course, friends of Grenada. Good morning to all. Today, sisters and brothers, represents yet another momentous occasion in our country's history. As we celebrate 48 years as an independent nation, notwithstanding the bumps along the road that threatened to derail our progress, our beloved country has recorded many milestones in the past 4 decades. Therefore, there is much to be proud of as we approach our half century as a nation. Despite the present extensive impact of COVID-19, which is intensifying the usual developmental challenges that small island developing states face, we are indeed well poised to continue our upward trajectory of growth and advancement for our people. Sisters and brothers all, as you are well aware, the development gains that we are currently enjoying did not come easily. The road has been fraught with trials and tribulations. But time and time again, we have overcome, rising triumphantly over impediments and continuing our march forward. In the true spirit of our ancestors who fought many battles to lay the foundation upon which we build today, Grenadians have repeatedly proven that we are a resilient people who have no qualms about showcasing these admirable qualities. In fact, the pandemic has forced us now more than ever to demonstrate how resilient we truly are. My dear sisters and brothers, our children have been the hardest hit by this pandemic. Their young lives, unimaginably absurd by the changes necessary to fight COVID-19, we know that they have gone through a lot. The advances in modern technology and the provision of electronic devices by government allowed for the option of online learning. But there is really nothing, sisters and brothers, to adequately replace valuable face-to-face instructional times for young people and our young, impressionable minds. In addition to the significant learning loss, our young boys and girls have been deprived of the social interaction that is so necessary to foster good human relations. We just need to reflect, sisters and brothers, on our own childhood and how we valued meeting our friends at school and participating in various sporting and leisurely activities. To be able to understand how much of a disadvantage this pandemic has created for young brothers and sisters. Therefore, today, I ask that you join me in praying for young brothers and sisters, that they may recover from this immeasurable loss, because you are never young more than once. Let us also recommit ourselves as adults to being more empathetic rather than judgmental. They may not always obey our command with respect to the present pandemic, but it's important for us to understand what they are losing and the problems that they are facing. My friends, we all face the physical threat of this viral infection. And many of our brothers and sisters have succumbed to its deadly grasp. Many others have to contend with being stripped of their livelihood as the severity of the pandemic has crippled some sectors of our economy. At the national level, had it not been for government prudent fiscal management and the sacrifices of you, the people of this country, the impact of the pandemic could have been even more detrimental. However, almost 2 years to this day, when the pandemic first reached our shores, we persevere, confident that this too shall pass. Sisters and brothers, for yet another year, COVID-19 has caused our independence celebrations to be a mere fraction of its usual flamboyance, a bittersweet reality, but an absolutely necessary one as we adhere to the established protocols which discourage mass gatherings to minimize the spread of infections and the available possible cost. Although physical distance has become the new norm, we are perpetually united through our patriotism and unrelenting love for this beautiful country we call our home. So today, while you are not physically present here, showcasing our splendid national colors, I know that Grenadians far and wide share a palpable love for home, a bond that transcends all differences, particularly on occasions like this, when the love of country is the language we all speak. Sisters and brothers, despite the dark cloud of the pandemic that continues to hover our country, and in fact the entire world, we look to the future with hope, and we embrace the decisions that will facilitate the best possible outcomes for all our people. But at the same time, we know that this must be underpinned by concrete actions that will transition hope from a desire into reality. This is why we are concerned about the level of vaccine hesitancy that exists throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. We believe in the science and remain optimistic that vaccination and achieving herd immunity will help bring an end to this health crisis. We will therefore continue to advocate for vaccination. But ultimately, fellow Grenadians, there is only so much the government can do or say. What we need more than ever is a solid partnership. Government and people working side by side as we seek to overcome this adversity, safeguarding lives and livelihoods, and creating a legacy for future generations. The fallout created by the pandemic has increased the onus on government to provide economic relief and social welfare programs to ease the burden of impact on our people. Historically, we are people-oriented center government, but the reality of the pandemic has compelled us to demonstrate even more our genuine love for the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. Naturally, it is a difficult time for government to be called upon to do more, particularly as it faces, at the same time, a reduction in revenue when compared to pre-pandemic times. However, government is committed to ensuring that our most vulnerable citizens are not further marginalized by the impact of this relentless pandemic. Sisters and brothers, that is why government has embarked on a COVID-19 economic stimulus support programs, which have benefited thousands of Grenadians through grant support payments, unemployment benefits, enhanced social protection initiatives, and improved access to funding for small businesses, among others. The first stimulus package, announced in March 2020, benefited over 6,000 Grenadians, including 147 businesses. Several categories of workers benefited from those measures, including bus owners, taxi and tour operators and tour guides, tourists and market vendors, hairdressers and barbers, small travel agents, members of the marine, dive and yachting sectors, hotel and apartment owners, and restaurant and bar owners, among others. Additionally, direct assistance was provided to 44 late workers who lost their jobs, 120 aviation services employees, and 244 Royalton employees in September 2021. Recognizing the continued economic uncertainty and extended adverse impact created by the pandemic, government still initiated and implemented a second series of economic stimulus support measures. To date, more than 3,000 Grenadians have received $13.1 million in benefits through various initiatives, including one, income and payroll support to 1,100 beneficiaries. 2, unemployment assistance, close to 800 persons. 3, support for micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, more than 200 beneficiaries. And fourthly, seed payments, benefiting 1,105 persons. Sisters and brothers, we are still in the early stages of implementation with additional incentives and initiatives that will come on stream this year, including expansion of the Youth Entrepreneurship Program and Internet connectivity programs. In addition to these economic stimulus measures, government announced in the 2022 budget a number of initiatives intended to provide further relief for the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. In December last, police officers, frontline health workers, and those who face the threat of COVID-19 infection directly by virtue of their jobs received an additional month's pay, while other public officers receive additional half month's pay. In addition, a cap of $15 have been implemented on the price of gasoline. By that action, government is therefore absorbing anything in excess of this. And with the recent spike in gasoline prices, in all prices internationally, government is going to bear the brunt of more of those support. Government has also taken a decision to zero-rate VAT on domestic electricity consumption of up to 500 kilowatt hours, and also remove the environmental levy for this same category of consumers. Furthermore, there has been a 25% reduction in non-fuel charge per kilowatt hour. Also, effective January this year, government also removed VAT on 5 additional food items. Sisters and brothers, these initiatives are deliberately wide-ranging to ensure that they impact as many Grenadians as possible. Some may call it gimmick. A gimmick if you're all right, but very, very serious support for those in need, especially in these times. Sisters and brothers, these are tough times. But it's important for us to demonstrate that we love and care for the people of this beautiful country of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. By finding any way, however small, to provide relief and shine a ray of hope in this otherwise dark period. Sisters and brothers, government is doing a lot, but we must also give credit to the value of partnerships, which constitute another important pillar of national development. Partnerships among stakeholders, partnerships among interest groups, partnerships among regional entities, partnerships with international development organizations. Government's ongoing collaboration, sisters and brothers, with the social partners, the recent signing of a 5-year sustainable development framework with the United Nations, and a long-standing relationship with St. George's University, are among the top examples of meaningful partnership that now exist. It's therefore important for me to highlight that partnership with St. George's University, which, as you know, constitute in normal times 25% of the GDP of our country. And that partnership is helping to truly transform our country and our people through both employment and education. St. George's University continues to play a very meaningful and valuable role in the Grenadian community and lives. Specifically, I want to commend the SGU for the commitment to further improve access to tertiary education under the new arrangement, which will be signed shortly, by providing more medical and undergraduate scholarships to Grenadians. As part of the new negotiated agreement that I held with the university officials, SGU has agreed to advance a grant of $30 million based on recent changes to its equity holdings. It must be remembered on the last occasion, 10 years ago, that $5 million US was granted. Today, $30 million US. That's over $80 million, sisters and brothers, in our currency. In addition, SU has been a faithful friend of Grenada throughout the pandemic, bolstering our medical supplies and collaborating with our health team. Going forward under the new arrangement, SU has also agreed to pay 2 clinical and 1 public health staff officials to complement the services provided by our hospitals. They have also agreed that technical and clinical staff members attached to the university will give part-time support services on a weekly basis to the hospital services and medical services throughout the length of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Sisters and brothers, therefore, as we look to the future, we must continuously set our sights on overcoming the adversities that threaten to derail our developmental agenda, safeguarding the livelihoods of our people as they seek to empower themselves, and protecting our collective future to conscientious decision-making. Government, by virtue of its mandate to lead, commits to doing so in the best interests of all Grenadians, but also seeks the support of everyone as together we steer the ship of development towards a future of a shared vision. Therefore, I urge one and all to embrace the call for unity as the beacon that will successfully guide this ship, our beloved nation, towards sustainable development. My friends all, or annual independence celebrations provided an opportunity to showcase our national pride. And it is therefore quite fitting that I use the occasion to inform you that government is planning to embark on an initiative that would more accurately reflect and represent who we are as a people. We are therefore considering a serious proposal from the Grenada National Reparations Committee, led by Brother Arlie Gill, to spearhead the research and make recommendations for the remaining of a number of places and sites in honor of our 50th anniversary independence celebrations in 2024. This initiative, sisters and brothers, will bring monumental change to the national landscape and give greater recognition to the many well-deserving Grenadians who have served us so well in the past and continued, in some cases, to serve us today. We anticipate that it will also help to engender an even greater feeling of national pride among Grenadians, and would also serve as a reminder to our young brothers and sisters of what can be achieved through hard work and dedication. On this note, my dear friends all, let me again say, Happy Independence to all. I pray that God continues to richly bless all our people, uniting us in our patriotism to this beautiful land of ours, called Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. Remember that I love you all, and I encourage all of you to be safe and continue adhering to the COVID-19 protocols. Thank you all.
And that was the address to the nation, and that address, the Prime Minister's address to the nation, that is as he now descends the stage and is getting ready to witness the departure of the Governor General. Superintendent McIntyre, it seems as the speech, his address encumbered some summary of relief and some rays of hope, as well as some, pointing out just some of the specifics that came through in terms of that relief to citizens during the last years, and last year or so, and highlighting critical points like the partnership with the SGU, and something that is very exciting for me, the renaming of places and sites in Grenada as we approach the 50th anniversary of our nationhood. I think that would really solidify our identity and really encumber One of the things he pointed out was that I thought was very, very interesting. He said that the pandemic has forced us now more than ever to demonstrate just how resilient we truly are. Just how to demonstrate how resilient we truly are. And wherever you are, whether you're in a household, whether you manage a shop, whether you do big business, and for
First
him
to
as the
start
leader
the
of
parade
the
would be
nation,
Her
that must
Excellency
this must ring
Dame
true to everyone.
Cecile Lagranade.
I share, similar sentiments as you've reflected on some of the highlights of the Prime Minister, and you articulated very, very, very nicely in terms of the various segments and veins and maybe sinews and arteries that he touched in terms of how the nation has come through the challenges, the decades that it has gone through, and continue to face the challenge of the COVID-19 and how we had to adjust as a nation and how we look forward to continuing to build. I think the reflection and the mention of the Grenada National Reparation Committee
Ladies and gentlemen,
is
please stand as Her Excellency takes her leave.
we were reflecting on some of the highlights of the Prime Minister's remarks as we prepare for the dismissal or the departure of the dignitaries.
Royal salute.
And they are going to be leaving in reverse order.
Yes.
As Her Excellency the Governor General Dame Cecile Lagranade receives the royal salute. We continue to reflect on some of the points of the Prime Minister as we still looking at the departure of the guest of honor, Her Excellency.
Dame Cecile, she's getting ready to leave. She seems to have a few words for the Chief of Protocol, Adrian Joseph. She's probably letting him know just how she thought the proceedings went.
Yes.
Yes, and he's there, one, the Commissioner of Police as well, and they're both attentively listening to the Dame as she gets ready to depart.
With the dressed off the new norm, the new face where everyone is wearing a face mask.
Face mask,
It has marred us quite a bit where we cannot see the true expressions sometimes of
You have
people.
to read eyes. You have to read
Yeah,
eyes.
you need to be good at
But we're
that.
not close enough to them to see their eyes. But
Some of the body language would tell you
correct
how
eyes and body language. Yes.
appreciative they are.
Yes. And as we mentioned earlier, they depart the grounds in reverse order. So on the way in, the Commissioner came, then Prime Minister, and then the Governor General. But as they depart, it will be Governor General Dame Cecile Lagranade who leaves parade grounds. And she came in and was the chief celebrant of the 48th
Governor General will be
anniversary
followed
of the
by
nation's
the
independence.
Honorable Prime
And
Minister.
she will be followed by the Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Mitchell.
I want to reflect on again some of the things. The Prime Minister did ask us to be a bit more empathetic,
Correct.
and he was very strong and us getting back to face-to-face education and to doing
Yes,
most things.
yes,
These were
yes.
some highlights.
You know, he pointed out, he made some about the learning loss and the social interaction, and making the point that nothing could replace it. And he used the word immeasurable, that the loss they had encountered in terms of physical, the face-to-face learning and the interaction, or the human interaction, was immeasurable. And I think we all can agree with that. And, you know, years down the road, we are probably going to see the true impact of this.
Yes.
Just pay attention now as he gets ready to depart.
So the Prime Minister is receiving the General Salute, Commissioner of Police, Assistant Commissioner of Police,
And the deputy.
and the Deputy of Commissioner as well, as the Chief of Protocol, as the Prime Minister prepares to depart. It has been a very short, precise
Yes.
celebration. We missed the march past of the parades in slow and quick time, and the
Yes,
inclusion
yes.
of some of the young people, the youth, who often want to be here to be part of the celebration, to show off their regalia.
So Commissioner is talking to Prime Minister. What do you think he's saying?
He's saying to Prime Minister, I guess, thank you for your support throughout this pandemic, and we look forward for continued support.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming
Just
here.
thank you for coming this
And
morning.
thank also, thank you for coming this morning
Prime
as
Minister
well, and
now
your remarks.
enters.
Yes.
The Prime Minister's security detail, we have to just mention as well just how sharp they are. And it's quite young officers as well.
Yes. I must say, Brenda, I had some remarks from my social page right here from the United States, from some of my friends out there.
As
They
the Prime
commended on the
Minister's
past police
departs,
officers. Junior, hello to you as
we
well.
await
Who,
the
you know, they really commended on
final
the
official
look
departure
of
Yes,
the
yes.
police officers,
For
the
this year's
security
parade.
detail.
Absolutely.
And the conduct is really
They-
professional.
Professional.
Commissioner of
Listen, on a
Police,
day like today, they are at
Mr.
their
Edwin Martin.
finest. You just
Yes.
cannot help but admire just, you know,
Yes.
how they present themselves. And of course, as Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell leaves Parade Square, having given the address to the nation here at the 48th Independence celebrations, of course, we'd like to thank him for coming and doing so.
So at this stage, the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Edwin Martin, he is having a fanfare. He received the salute from the commanders of the 6 platoons on parade today. And
Quite a decorated commissioner
He
he
is.
is.
it is one of the things that we mentioned last year in terms of
Yes.
the commendation, the badges of commendation and ribbons for some of the police officers. Just under 300 of them received commendation badges and ribbons earlier on, just about a week ago.
Yes, a couple days ago, rather.
A couple days ago, as a
Right,
matter
they
of
had
fact.
it at
Of
the
the
Trade
Commissioner
Center.
of Police.
Yes, indeed.
The parade commander will hand over the parade to his adjutant.
It is one of
He will
the signs of the development of the Royal Grenada
take
Police
his
Force
position on
and the
the
recognition and
saluted
contribution towards national service.
will
It
receive
cannot go
the salute.
unmentioned and shouldn't go unseen as well. And ribbons
And
and
this will be
badges
followed by
are some of the
march
conspicuous
off
things
from
that
the
you
parade
can
grounds.
see as a
Yes.
mark that someone has
Yes.
really contributed honorably
And you
to
also,
development
gave,
of the
you,
country.
you also gave commendation and medals to citizens.
He has done
who
that
worked at the
this
police
year.
force. So it is great because you need that effort of both the citizenry and to assist the police in policing. And that is
yes.
really a big deal in Grenada. And probably that is why, you know, the crime solving rate is so high, you know. So
One of the
that's
emphasis of the RGPF, one of the pillars of Commissioner's strategic vision is that of community policing. And I think
Yeah.
we can't run away from that. We must at all times seek to engage communities and to have and forge greater partnership with
Indeed.
them to be
And
able
that
to
was
solve
one of the
crimes.
central themes in the Prime Minister's address as well. Government and people working together side by side. And he mentioned it in relation to COVID, but in terms of national development or broader initiatives, such as community policing with the police, to help keep Grenada safe and to keep, to enhance our development agenda, those things are really, really critical. And sometimes, oftentimes, you say, who's the government? The government is the people. We put some administrators in to take care of key components of our affairs. But really and truly, it is always an involvement of people and really, revving those people up into that sort of awareness and vibrancy that this is yours and you have to participate in it.
Yes.
So, it was great to hear that coming out of his message as well, pointing out basically how we transition. And he made a quote that I wrote down that I found very instructive, that we need to transition hope from a desire to a reality.
Yes.
Because indeed, you keep hope alive, you remain optimistic, you wish for a better tomorrow, but you now have to transition that feeling of euphoria or hopefulness into a reality, making it happen. And those are some of the key things as well. Yeah.
I also wanted to take note of the focus on the youth entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Where the program that is intending to roll out or to be expanded in ensuring that you have more entrepreneurs coming from youth areas.
Absolutely. Yeah, and most of it that from his address was really wide ranging. There was the specifics on what went on with the relief. So the relief or ray of hope.
Yes.
That is what he provided in the address, and it was wide ranging initiatives, I think, to protect the development agenda of the country. Just how we overcome, as this theme aptly says here, how we overcome our adversity and we safeguard livelihoods and protecting our future. I think his address really was wrapped around that central theme. And so we prepare for the final fanfare?
Final fanfare of a wonderful, what you call scaled down military parade here. The color party, they're making their way off the main parade field. The parade commander has handed over command to his adjutant, his second in command. They are preparing for the final match-off from this wonderful stadium here, the Kirani James Athletic Stadium in St. George.
How
Again,
sweet
we
it sounds.
continue to give commendation to the team that has brought this together. The chairman of the National Independence Celebration Committee, Mr. John Williams, and others have done a tremendous job in bringing every segment of the celebration together to success, I must dare say. And to the teams here at the ground, the cameramen, the videographers, etc., the guys who are running the drones and so forth, the police officers, we will speak about their contribution towards making this the grand success it has been, despite being scaled down.
Yes, indeed. So for viewing audience, what's happening now?
The commanders are taking up the commanders of the parade themselves. They have exited the parade field, and the two ICs are taking up position, and they will march off the parade from off the parade area.
And
This
they're
is one of
marching
the
off in quick time?
and they will march off in quick time with the music of the band. What they're doing is to return from 2 ranks into 3. They got into 2 ranks for the inspection,
Right.
when we had Her Excellency inspecting the troops, and for most things they did in the 2 ranks and in open order. Now they've got into 3 ranks, they're getting into close order, and they would march off in that way. As the parade commanders, the different platoon commanders marched on and they took up their position on field, the 2 ICs now return to take up command of these positions, and they will be the ones, as they led on, they will lead them off the parade arena.
Right.
Yes.
Just like to point out that the National Honors and Awards for 2022, the Spice Isle Award went to Miss Audrey Lyons, and the Camahorn Awards went to Miss Marva St. Paul and Merrill Hutchinson McQueen. So we'll be hearing more about why they were cited as receiving these awards this year. And so these are the national awards. The Spice Isle Award is going to Miss Audrey Lyons, and the Camahorn Award going to Miss Marva St. Paul and Merrill Hutchinson McQueen. So I'm sure the National Celebrations Committee would release more about their fields of endeavor and why they received those awards. So congratulations to all of the awardees.
Congratulations is in place, and thank you is also in place. The virtual parade military platform is that later on. So we now looking at the final match off by the parade.
Superintendent George,
They're led by the
parade commander,
adjutant who has now assumed command responsibility, Superintendent Paul Christopher.
commander of platoon number 1,
The SSU, the male platoon, the female platoon as they come through.
ASP Richards,
The Coast Guard, the band.
woman Inspector Stanislaus,
In charge of the band is Inspector Eaton
platoon
Francis.
number 4, ASP Edwards, platoon number 5,
I mean, we just can't keep just how well they play, just how
They
every
play well.
time.
and
It's just
platoon number 6,
fantastic
Coast Guard.
cohort of musicians. The Coast Guard was really outstanding this morning.
Yes.
Really outstanding.
And the Coast Guard is followed by Her Majesty's Prison.
Prisons, they always, to me, they always march so well.
They, for the last couple of years, the prison has risen to a different dimension, and it has been maintained, I must say. And with the cadets, I think the inclusion of the cadet has driven a lot of
Yes.
what we've seen, because the young people, very vibrant, very energetic,
Yes.
and everything else,
Great
it drives the
generation.
others into raising their levels as well.
I think
And I must say that the contribution and the vision of the leaders of the processes
Yeah.
must not go unnoticed as well.
Yeah, that is fantastic, and indeed that infusion and that merge and that intergenerational energy. That is when we really operate best as teams, you know.
Yes.
So that is fantastic. It's been quite exciting, I must say.
It is. It has been a really exciting, very condensed. The footage and everything here, the contribution from everyone who's made this.
Yes.
The day itself just lend itself to a wonderful. It's not too hot,
Absolutely.
and it's not raining.
Yeah.
Two things that was kind of a notice coincidental. That this morning we had some showers of blessing. I think
did.
just before the Prime Minister came on,
We had some again.
there was a little drizzle that
Actually,
came on.
I think when he was walking across, there was a drizzle
And
happening.
that's correct.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is a wonderful day.
It is. It absolutely is. It's been absolutely fantastic. The site, Grenada. Look at the city of St. George's, the parish of St. George.
And noticing one of the cruise lines in harbour,
Yes.
it's just a reminder that we are getting back to near normal. That
Yeah. Well, it's quiet today. We normally
it's-
have 2 and 3 on any given day, every day now.
Yes.
Although, in terms of how there's grand dance in the
distance,
in
yeah.
the distance, and we go all the way down to Point Salines. It's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Grenada, pure Grenada, the spice of the Caribbean. It's just who we are. Here's our vantage point here at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium, and we're giving you a vista of the Kirani James Boulevard and where the Port Louis Marina is located. And then we go all the way down to Point Salines, a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful southern part of Grenada. I know some folks this morning probably just going, don't do me that. But it's our independence, of course, and we really have to showcase all of who we are, because on this day, for some reason, we just seem to be more, instilled in our Grenadianism, to borrow Arlie Gill's special phrase.
yes.
So we have a thank you from the chairman. We have a thank you from the chairman of the Independence, the National Celebrations Committee, that is Mr. John Williams. And we just introduce that thank you now, and then we'll come back here at the National Stadium to wrap. Here's our RV vehicle, and we're kind of showing off here this morning, right?
But we have good reasons to do that.
All right, so here's a thank you from
It's a
Mr.
wonderful
John
day.
Williams, the chairman of the National Celebrations Committee and the individual who chaired the proceedings of and all the celebrations marking the 48th anniversary of our nation's independence.
Good morning to all. As we come to the end of the Independence Military Parade of our 48th anniversary of independence, celebrating under the theme, Overcoming Our Adversity, Safeguarding Our Livelihoods, Protecting Our Future. It gives me great pleasure as chairman of the National Celebrations Committee to extend to each of you greetings this morning. Today we give thanks to Almighty God for His love and mercy towards each and every one of us. Special appreciation goes out to Her Excellency, Dame Cécile La Grenade, our Governor General, for her graciousness in doing the honors of the inspection of the military parade. We are grateful to Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, our Prime Minister, for the delivery of his insightful and purposeful address to the nation. To Honorable Yolande Bain Hosford, Minister for Sports, Culture and the Arts, Fisheries and Cooperatives, for your presence here today and your continued support to myself and members of the National Celebrations Committee as a whole. To the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Edwin Martin, and other senior officers and rank and file of the Royal Grenada Police Force. To all members on parade this morning, we express to each and every one of you our sincerest appreciation for a well-executed parade. To Reverend Joachim Philip for his deep prayerful prayer of rededication. Reverend Silbert Prescott, the chairman and other members of the Conference of Churches of Grenada, for your support and contribution during our celebrations. I thank you. To my colleagues on the National Celebrations Committee, including members on the Sister Isle of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, I say thanks and well done to all. To the production team, comprising the Ministry of Culture, the Government Information Service, tandrcommunications, for doing such a fabulous job on the technical and virtual aspects of these events. And by extension, we thank also the media, including the commentary teams. Your efforts and contribution is very much appreciated. We say thanks to the Grenada National Stadium Authority, Waggy Tea Rentals and Sounds, Dana's Tasty Foods, Liz and Rawls Catering, Glenelg Spring Water, Universal Services, and to all who have contributed to the success of our celebrations in one way or another. So as we bring today's event to a close, we now look forward to our final activity of our celebrations, which is Prime Minister's Luncheon for the Elderly, which will take place in the coming days. We want to thank you, the public, for your support. So let us now continue to enjoy our 48th anniversary of independence celebrations. Enjoy the rest of your day. God bless you all, and God bless Grenada. I thank you.
Of course, he provided there the thank you. It's hard work. He's been the chairman for the last couple of years, and as we move up to 50, maybe more work is cut out for him, right?
Yes.
But anyway, we have some other thank yous as well. So Superintendent McIntyre, take it away.
I just want to add my word of thanks to the National Celebrations Committee as well under Mr. John Williams' leadership. I think the team really worked really hard and they brought this to the kind of a success we've seen here today. So a personal thank you from me. We did not do this alone. There were a team of persons and there are quite a number of media houses that contributed and brought this live. We wanted the GIS Facebook page and youth channel, the National Celebrations Committee Facebook page, they were bringing this live as well. The High Commission for Grenada in the UK, tandrcommunications, we express our heartfelt thanks and gratitude to you for taking this across that aspect of the diaspora and those who followed. Mikey Live, how can we not say thank you? MTV Grenada, Uncut Media, Real FM, partygrenada.com, Sister Isles Media, and We FM Radio. Those are all of the media houses and those unofficial other persons who linked and streamed for us. We are grateful down here from the team at the National Stadium, Kirani James Athletic Stadium, bringing you, having brought you live the Independence Military Parade.
Right, so the wind starts competing with us again, but that's okay. We must say a special thank you because we have been wind assisted in our production this morning, but there's some really talented, a talented group of Grenadians who really brought the production together. And that production was started with the Calypso competition on Friday evening, the extravaganza on Saturday, culminating with this military parade and Prime Minister's address here this morning. So Reggie Joseph, Reggie was our drone operator. Of course, he brought you all the fantastic sights overhead. Mikhail Alexis, Mikhail was the RV operator. Well done, Mikhail. Calon Noel, Calon did camera. Curlin Dragon, he was the Dimba operator. Dovel Emily on camera. Gary Stephen camera as well. Andrel Patrick, he was a camera assistant. Nazim Benjamin, Nazim provided professional streaming services. Ron Deali from the GIS was our technical director. Blondell George was our CG operator. Sharian Noel, Sharian was the event producer. John Jerome, he operated in studio. Richie Oliver, he was the executive producer from TNR Communications. And Leslie Ann Johnson, the director of the GIS, she was the executive producer for the GIS. And this production here from Friday through to today has been in GIS production in conjunction with TNR Communications. So we like to say hats off and very well done to our team who showcased quite some exciting things here this morning. Superintendent McIntyre, was a pleasure. Again,
it has been. It is a pleasure always working alongside you, Brenda. And I don't think we really, in our summary, did express our heartfelt appreciation to the RGPF for the security details and for the parade in itself. We mentioned it along the way, but we really want to thank a special thank you to Commissioner of Police, the Deputy and the Assistant Commissioner, and all of the ranks and files that really brought us and made this happen. And all of the time that they dedicated towards the rehearsals, and a special commendation for the Coast Guard and the SSU who brought us this display. 473 will always remain with us.
Yes, that was really magical.
It has become our symbol, our recognition. It has become a sort of an icon for us. Grenada 473, and
it's our
that
area
display was
code.
remarkable.
Area code is now part of Brand Grenada.
Brand Grenada.
So very well done, and thank you so very much to the RGPF for all you've done. Of course, as you rightfully say, rehearsals, because they don't just show up on a day like today and do this. So we have to congratulate them for the time, the effort, the creativity, the innovation, everything that they have put into this. Well done. They were the best. They are always the best on display on Independence Day. Thank you as well to Dame Cecile Lagrenade, who showed up this morning. She was the chief celebrant, so to speak, our Prime Minister, who gave the national address, and to the Commissioner of Police, who took care of everything military. So as we celebrate our 48 years of independence with great enthusiasm and patriotic pride from watching this Independence Parade, we know many of you are watching Grenadians in Grenada, Carriacou, Pity, Martinique, and wherever Grenadians are in the diaspora. Online on island here, we know we're going to the beach, we're going to the river to have picnics or maybe even house limes, and wherever you choose to fellowship with your loved ones. Grenadians, let us remember to aspire, build, advance as 3 islands and 1 people. From the National Stadium, the Kirani James Athletic Stadium, on this, the 48th anniversary of our nation's independence. It has been a pleasure to bring this commentary to you this morning. And
from both of us here at the National Stadium, the Kirani James Athletic Stadium, we say it has been a pleasure. Thank you for your viewing, your following, and your listening time. Wherever you are, it has been our pleasure working with you.
I am Brenda Batiste. Have a
I'm
great
Sylvan
day,
McIntyre,
everyone.
everyone.
Happy Independence.